What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Tuesday, July 23rd. Monday had some crazy games, guys, and we were not on the right side of a lot of them. Really just off-the-wall stuff there down the stretch. Got off to a good start with the Pirates minus 102. Skubal pitched out of lots of trouble to eventually get an 8-2 win there for the Tigers, so we'll take that for sure. We saw the Cardinals plus 115. That one went up in flames. They lost 2-1 in that game. Only a one-run solo homer, the only offense for the Cardinals in that game. So not ideal there. Not exactly what we saw coming for them against a pitcher that they had some good history against. Next up, we had the White Sox in the Texas Rangers, under 8. That one came through for us as a win, and there we saw runs in the 9th and 10th innings, but that under held good for us still. After that, guys, really annoying stuff. We had the Brewers minus 116. That was a 3-1 loss for them. It was basically a bullpen games from the Cubs, and one of the best offenses in the major leagues could not come through for us for more than one run. So that's pretty devastating stuff. I also saw the Red Sox lose that game. I don't know if I've ever seen a team want to lose a baseball game more. Boston led by 2 runs in the 10th inning and 1 run in the 12th to eventually lose 9-8 in the 12th inning. Despicable stuff from the Red Sox. Bullpen didn't look good. Yeah, just very annoying to see them not be able to win a game they certainly should have won. We followed that up with another very annoying loss, guys. A Seattle minus 162. We saw a sacrifice fly in the 8th and an error in the 9th lead to the Mariners eventually taking a 3-1 loss in a game that they had led all the way since the first inning. So yeah, pretty unfortunate ending to the day there, but we're going to get back after it here on this Tuesday slate. Before we jump into all of our research on every single game, guys, do me a big favor and hit that like button. It's a great way to show some support for the channel, and it shows appreciation for all the work we're putting in here every single day. If you're new, go ahead and subscribe. It's 100% free and can keep you from missing out on these picks. Our videos are sponsored by StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and join our free email list and check out our top confidence plays on all the major sports. Comment below with all the bets you're looking at today, and we'll give you our best advice on all of them. We pride ourselves on answering every single comment, so let us know anything you want to say about my picks, these videos, or anything you see here. As always, our final picks will be in the pinned comment down below. Now let's get into our first game of the day. We've got the Baltimore Orioles going on the road to take on the Miami Marlins. Baltimore comes into this game fresh off of that 3-2 loss at the Rangers there in their last time out, but they won 2 out of 3 in that series, and it's 60-39 on the year. They are doing a-okay. They're leading the AL Central, so not going to be too sad about that. They're hitting the ball to Albert Suarez in this game. He's 5-3 this season with a 2.82 ERA. He's coming off a middle-of-the-road start against the Cubs. It was his last start going into the All-Star break, so guy might have took his foot off the gas a little bit. 5 innings, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, not against the toughest opponent. So yeah, not exactly great stuff from him there, although he's been a good pitcher over the course of the season. Absolutely no doubt about that. He has not faced the Marlins yet this year, so he should be in for a treat against a team that's not one of the best hitting teams out there. The Orioles bullpen in general, guys, hasn't been as good recently as they've been over the course of the season. A 3.78 bullpen ERA, though, still not terrible, and it's not like they're going against the toughest hitting opponent, so not too worried about the pitching staff in this game. I'm expecting decent things from them. I'm also expecting a little bit of a bounce back here from the Orioles offense that only scored 2 runs there in their series finale at the Rangers. In that series in general, they scored 2, 8, and 9 runs respectively. The last game of their series against the Yankees, they scored 6 runs. I do expect this offense to get back on track, guys. This whole lineup is just loaded with hitters. They're 3rd in the majors in runs scored and 1st in the majors in slugging percentage. They're batting .253 as a team. They're getting on base at a .314 clip. Like, this is just a very good offense, and they're going up against the Marlins team who just managed to split a 4-game series against the Mets, so I think they'll definitely take that, but at 35-65 in the year, not a whole lot to play for right now. We currently do not have a confirmed starter for the Marlins, which is a bit of a problem. I mean, they're last in the majors in quality starts and 27th in the majors in total team earned run average. So yeah, definitely some concerns there. I mean, they're allowing an opponent's batting average of .253, just not great in terms of their bullpen. If this ends up being a, like a full bullpen start, honestly, their bullpen's been a little bit better than average, guys. A 3.88 bullpen ERA, not something to turn your nose up at, but also just not a pitching staff that we're super high on overall. Their offense right now has scored 4, 0, and 6 runs respectively in their series against the Mets. So, not terrible, but they're 29th in the majors in runs scored this season and 29th in the majors in on-base percentage. Getting on base at a .285 clip, guys, that is not great. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Orioles at minus 174. No major surprise. They're going to be a big favorite in this one. The Marlins at plus 146. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. Baltimore is a great road team, guys. They're 30-17 on the road. That's an MLB best road mark. So very solid stuff there. The Marlins are 20-33 at home. Obviously not great. We see that Baltimore is 27-17-3 to the over on the road, and that Miami is an MLB best at home, 35-16-2 to the over at home. So guys, two different spots I like in this game. I'm definitely liking that over 8.5. Seems very appealing to me, playing into all those trends. I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this game. And also, guys, if you wanted to take a look at the Orioles minus 1.5, right now we're not seeing full numbers reporting, but right now if you take them at minus 1.5, at least on FanDuel, you can get them at plus 100. So both of those bets, very, very interesting to me. I think we're going to see the Orioles have a good time in this one, and we might see enough offense to get us to that over, with both teams definitely showing trends towards the over. Moving right along here, guys, we've got the Detroit Tigers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. The Tigers come into this game fresh off of a solid 8-2 win there in Game 1 of this series. Had to be good for Scooball to go out there and have another good outing. The Tigers are 50-51 on the year, so still plenty of work to do. Unfortunately, we do not have a confirmed starter for them for this game, so that can get a little bit sketchy. I mean, they're 14th in the majors in total team earned run average. They're 7th in the majors in quality starts and 16th in the majors in batting average against. So, not a terrible pitching team by any stretch. If this turns into a full bullpen start, how exactly do we feel about that? I mean, I would say not amazing, guys. The Tigers bullpen ERA is a 4.08. That's not amazing. Obviously in the bottom third of the league there. So we'll see what we actually get from them. Obviously need a little bit more information about who's actually going to be out there on the mound for the Tigers to begin this game. And their offense obviously coming off a good one, guys. They've scored 8, 4, 7, 5, and 4 runs respectively over their last few. We've got Riley Green out there doing what he can. This team is 16th in the majors in runs scored, 28th in the majors in on-base percentage, and 24th in the majors in batting average, batting .233 as a team. So not exactly, over the course of the season has this been a great offense, but recently they're definitely swinging the bats pretty well. So we'll see what they can do here going up against the Cleveland Guardians, who have now lost 3 in a row. They're 59-40 on the season, handing the ball in this game to Xavier Curry, who is sporting a 5.19 ERA. His last 2 appearances were both out of the bullpen. The one at Baltimore was not great, guys. The one at Tampa Bay was fine, but in general, as a starter, I mean, his last start was back on May 27th at Colorado, and he got absolutely shelled. His start before that was on the 21st of May against the Mets, and he didn't have an amazing time in that one either. So definitely some significant questions here with this guy out there on the mound. In terms of their bullpen, obviously, we do like the Cleveland bullpen a lot. A 2.56 bullpen ERA is best in the majors. This is a great, great bullpen. Even if they didn't look amazing necessarily yesterday, this is a great, great pitching staff. So we'll see what they can do here to back up Curry. Not somebody that we have a ton of faith in. The offense has been MIA lately, guys. They've scored 2, 1, and 0 runs respectively over their last 3 games. If Quan and Jose Ramirez can't get back on track, things could be a little bit tough for the squad. I mean, they're 10th in the majors in runs scored, 17th in the majors in batting average. They're getting on base at a .313 clip. Those are all fine numbers and all that, but yeah, just not swinging the hottest bats right now. So significant concerns for me in this one about this Cleveland offense. And look at the numbers, guys. We see the Tigers at plus 116, the Guardians at minus 125. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. The Tigers are 26-27 on the road, so not terrible, but Cleveland is a dominant 31-14 at home, so definitely something to take into consideration. We also see both teams showing trends towards the over, and with an over-under of 8.5, that's a pretty standard number, but Detroit is 30-21-2 to the over on the road, and Cleveland is 25-17-3 to the over at home. So yeah, guys, that leads me to think this over could definitely have some value. Not going to be necessarily putting this one in the pinned comment until we get more information about the starting pitcher for the Tigers here, but I do see some things I like in this game. It could definitely eventually end up in there. Probably going to have to be updating this pinned comment stuff through through tomorrow morning once we get confirmed news on all these unconfirmed starting pitching situations. Next up, guys, we're looking at the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Pittsburgh Pirates. The Cardinals come into this game fresh off of a very disappointing 2-1 loss there in Game 1 of this series. They're 52-48 on the year, 5 games back of the Brewers there in the NL Central. They're hitting the ball in this game to Lance Lynn, who's 5-4 in the season with a 4.39 ERA. He's coming off a very good start pre-All-Star game there, guys, against the Chicago Cubs. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in a game the Cardinals won 11-3. So very, very solid stuff from Lance Lynn there. The last time he faced the Pirates, he didn't exactly have a great time, guys. He only went 4 1/3 innings in a game. The Cardinals eventually won 4-3, but he gave up 3 earned runs. He walked 3 and struck out 5 in that very short appearance. So yeah, that was back on June 13th. So we have a little bit of a concern here for some negative history for Lance Lynn against the Pirates. And in terms of their bullpen, guys, the Cardinals bullpen has been fantastic lately. I mean, had some struggles at the beginning of the season, don't get me wrong, but currently sitting 4th in the majors with a 3.44 bullpen ERA. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. The problem for this team pretty much all season long has been their lack of offense. I mean, only scoring scoring 1 run in the first game of the series is not a great look. They're 23rd in the majors in runs scored this season, 19th in the majors in slugging percentage. Like, a lot of these numbers are headed in a positive direction. Like, they're up to batting 247 as a team. That's 12th in the majors. So, some signs of life here, but this team just not the best at getting runs across the plate. So we're going to have to see what they can do here going up against the Pirates, who come into this game obviously fresh off that 2-1 win. They've actually been playing really, really well. We're playing well headed into the All-Star break. They've managed to win 7 of their last 8 overall to get to 51-49 on the year. They're 6 games back of the Brewers, only 1 game back of the Cardinals there in the NL Central. They're handing the ball to Paul Skeens, one of the most exciting young pitchers in baseball. He looked great there in the All-Star game, guys. I mean, he did have a walk in that inning, but didn't give up any runs. He looked very, very good, and making some history out there has to feel good for the young fella. He's 6-0 with a 1.90 ERA. His last start was at Milwaukee. That was before the All-Star break. 7 innings. No hits given up, 11 strikeouts. I think it was very, very smart of them to pull him out of there. This guy's going to have more chances in his career for no-hitters. The last time he faced the Cardinals, he was dominant, guys. 6 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks, no runs in a game the Pirates eventually won 2-1. So very, very dominant stuff there from Skeens. Expecting good things from him again in this game. Absolutely no doubt about it. The Pirates bullpen, not a great one, but man, if you can throw Skeens out there and he can give you 7+ innings, a 4.33 bullpen ERA, while scary, might end up working out coming out of the pen. And the Pirates offense hasn't been looking that great over the last couple of games, totaling 2 runs scored over those last 2 games. Brian Reynolds, obviously a monster, but this team is 24th in the majors in runs scored and 26th in the majors in batting average for a reason. Just not a great offensive team, so we'll see what they can actually put up in this game. I mean, they are going against a pitcher which they have some positive history against, so that has to feel nice. Looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Cardinals at plus 155. We see the Pirates at minus 172. We've got an over-under showing of 8 in this game, which is pretty interesting. A lot of Skeens' starts have been pretty low scoring. We're not seeing a ton of offense out of the Pirates right now, and the Cardinals haven't been a good offensive team all season long, and obviously we don't expect him to do much against Skeens. So we'll have to look and see. I mean, we do see both teams showing trends towards the under. The Cardinals are 27, 22, and 3 to the under on the road. Pittsburgh is 26, 22, and 2 to the under at home. No major trends on the side in this one, and I do think that's a bit of a steep price on the Pirates. If we see Skeens, labor a little bit coming off the All-Star break, and, let's say he only pitches, 5 or 6 innings, that's 3 innings the Pirates, not very good bullpen has to take care of. So in general in this game, guys, I'm leaning towards under 8. I think that's the value in this game. I think it's also got a chance to end up in the pinned comment here. I don't think we're going to see very much offense from either team, and even if the Pirates do manage to score 4 runs against the Cardinals, this could very easily be a 4-0 game. Next up, guys, we've got the New York Mets going on the road to take on the New York Yankees in the battle for New York. We've got the Mets coming into this game winners of 2 out of their last 4 in a 4-game series at Miami. Yeah, that's not exactly what you're looking for when you're going to the Marlins, guys. You want to be winning at least 3 out of 4 in that one, but at 51-48 on the year, they're in a better shape than they were at a lot of different points this season. They're handing the ball to Jose Quintana, who's 4-6 this season with a 4.13 ERA. He's coming off a terrible start against the Colorado Rockies, guys. He did not go into the All-Star break on a good note, which is kind of wild after back-to-back absolutely dominant starts against the Washington Nationals. So, ups and downs, and you can see guys, having a rough time headed into the All-Star break. That's definitely possible. So we'll see what we get out of him in this game. We'll also see what the Mets bullpen can come up with. A 4.16 bullpen ERA is obviously not great, but they've been trending in a fairly positive direction, headed into the All-Star break. So we'll see how they look in this one. I will say they maybe didn't necessarily wow me against the Marlins. Not a very good team, but you have to wonder how seriously teams take series like that against these terrible, terrible opponents. So we'll see what their offense can do in this one. I mean, they're 8th in the majors in runs scored and 10th in the majors, batting .249 as a team. They're also top 10 in on-base percentage and slugging percentage. So, lots of good reasons to think this offense can put up some runs. They've scored 6, 2, 1, and 4 runs respectively in their series against the Marlins, though. So not exactly swinging the hottest bats right now. They're going to have to score some runs here going up against the Yankees, who come into this game 60-42 on the season. They just won 9-1 in the last game of that 4-game series against the Rays to split that series 2 games apiece. So they'll definitely take that. The Yankees are going to be handing the ball in this game to Luis Gil, who is 10-5 this season with a 3.17 ERA. The dude looked amazing in the early goings and has gotten back on track after some very weird struggles with back-to-back solid starts heading into the All-Star break, guys. Back on the 7th of July, he was very good against the Red Sox, and then on the 13th of July, that was his last time out, guys. 6 innings, 5 hits, only a single earned run while striking out 7, and walking 1 in a win against the Baltimore Orioles. So very good stuff from Gil there. I think we can safely say that he is back on track for this game. The Yankees bullpen in general has been very good this season. They're sitting somewhere around 5th or 6th in the majors with a 3.49 bullpen ERA. Nothing wrong with that. Looking good headed into the All-Star break. Give them some credit there for sure. We still don't have a confirmation on whether or not Stanton is going to be playing in this game. I'm definitely leaning towards no. So the Yankees offense is not going to be at full strength yet, but man, they looked pretty good. I mean, a little bit up and down, obviously, in that series against Tampa Bay. I mean, 9, 4, 1, and 6 runs respectively. Not terrible, not awful. Not awful. We'll give them some credit, but they're not at full strength. They're not that big, scary offense they've been at other points this season. They are still tied for first in the majors in runs scored. So got to give this offense credit for absorbing some pretty tough injuries. And looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Mets at plus 136. We see the Yankees at minus 155. We got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. We do see the Mets are 24-22 on the road, so a little bit above 500. The Yankees are 27-21 at home, so that's pretty nice. We actually see both teams showing trends towards the over in this spot, which is a bit bizarre. The Mets are actually 28-15-3 to the over on the road. That's an MLB best road number. Pretty crazy there. The Yankees are 26-21-1 to the over at home, which makes sense for a team that's such an offensive powerhouse. Obviously, you got to, see the possibility of these games being high scoring, especially considering that the first 2 instances of this matchup were games that had 14 total runs and 16 total runs respectively. So kind of expecting a good amount of offense in this game, even with Luis Gil out there, even with Jose Quintana out there. So guys, looking at these numbers, these trends towards the over, I do think there's a decent chance the Yankees could possibly come away with the win in this game, but I like over 8.5 a good amount. I think we're going to see plenty of offense once again. Yankee Stadium, a fairly hitter-friendly park, obviously, and yeah, I think we're going to see both teams take advantage of that and light up the scoreboard, giving that over 8.5 some very solid value. Next up, guys, we got the Tampa Bay Rays going on the road to take on the Toronto Blue Jays. The Rays come into this game fresh off of that 9-1 loss there to end their series against the Yankees on a sour note. They are 50-50 on the season, handing the ball to Shawn Armstrong, who comes into this game. He's going to be making the start. He's normally a bullpen guy. He's sporting a 5.91 ERA this season, which is obviously not great. And given that you're coming out of the Tampa Bay Rays bullpen, kind of smells like you might not have been having a great time. The last couple of appearances that he had this season were both against the Yankees, and he looked serviceable in those, I suppose, but maybe not elite. So yeah, we've got our question marks about him, and also the question marks about the Tampa Bay Rays, since this pretty much seems like it's going to be a pretty much a full bullpen start. The Rays bullpen guys, a 4.42 bullpen ERA, bottom 5 in the majors. So yeah, very, very problematic there. What do we expect to see from this pitching staff in this game? I would say probably not a lot of good stuff. And what do we expect to see from the offense? Well, we have seen some upturns lately, guys. I mean, they scored 1, 6, 9, and 1 runs respectively there against the Yankees. So I mean, I guess that's some positives in there, but this isn't an offense that I'm super high on, guys. 27th in the majors in runs scored, 25th in the majors in slugging percentage. They're only batting .236 as a team. That is obviously not amazing. So yeah, a little bit of a concern here for me about this offense. So let's see what they can do here going up against the Toronto Blue Jays, who come into this game winners of only 1 out of 3 there against the Tigers. They are 45-54 on the season. We keep hearing rumors about Vladimir Guerrero Jr. getting traded, so we'll see what actually happens there. They're handing the ball in this game to Jose Barrios, who's 8-7 with a 4.01 ERA. He's coming off of a terrible start, and actually 3 very problematic starts in a row, guys. At Arizona, at Seattle of all teams, and then at home against Houston. None of those were very good starts, so big questions here for Barrios. How he's throwing the ball right now is not exactly filling me with tons of optimism. Definitely going to be, not a starter that we love here. And going up against the Tampa Bay Rays, it's not a team that he's faced this season. Well, not in modern history this season. He did face them in the very beginning of the year, guys, back in March. He looked very good against them, but obviously that is not something we can really take into consideration. So in general, in this, pitching situation for the Blue Jays, we're going to be looking at their bullpen a bit, and it's been terrible. A 4.87 bullpen ERA, obviously one of the worst in the majors, currently second worst in the majors, and the offense hasn't been killing it, guys. 5, 3, 4, and 8 runs respectively over their last few games. They should be in a good spot against a pretty terrible, pitching staff coming the other way, but 25th in the majors in runs scored, 20th in the majors, batting .237 as a team. This is just not an offense that I'm very high on. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Tampa Bay Rays at plus 136, the Blue Jays at minus 152. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. Tampa Bay is 23-23 on the road. Toronto is 22-26 at home. We see both teams showing slight trends towards the over over. So I guess if you wanted to take a look at over 8.5, you could. But in general in this game, guys, I think this might be a decent spot here for Berrios, who's not a terrible pitcher, to have something of a bounce back, have a good outing out there, and to get plenty of run support from a bad offense, given that they're going up against one of the worst bullpens in the major leagues. Next up, guys, we got the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Atlanta Braves. The Reds come into this game fresh off of a 4-1 win there in Game 1 of this series. Hunter Green looked great out there. The Reds are 48-53 in the year, so a lot of work to do as they're currently in last place in the NL Central. We do not have a confirmed starter for them in this game, but if this ends up being a full bullpen-style outing from the Reds, we don't feel bad about that, guys. Their bullpen has been very good, a 3.52 bullpen ERA, so if they have to patchwork together an entire start here, I definitely think they're capable of that. Although, anytime you have a full bullpen start, things can get a little bit sketchy. This offense has not been one of the best in the majors this season, and they're not swinging the hottest bats, guys. They've scored 4, 2, 4, 5, and 2 runs respectively over their last several games. They're 14th in the majors in runs scored, but only batting at .230 as a team. That has them 27th in the majors. They're getting on base at a .304 clip. That's 22nd in the majors. Just not an offense that I'm very high on. And they're taking on the Atlanta Braves, who are in desperate need of some wins here. They've now lost 3 in a row. They're 54-45 on the season, handing the ball to Chris Sale in this game. He's 13-3 this season with a 2.70 ERA, coming off a very good start against the San Diego Padres. 5 innings, 4 hits, only a single earned run in a game we eventually saw the Braves win 6-3. So very solid stuff. The Braves are 4-1 over his last 5 starts. So good stuff there. Absolutely no doubt about it. We've seen Chris Sale look good effectively all season long. So the Braves definitely hoping for good things out of him. Obviously hoping for good things out of their bullpen, which has been fantastic over the course of the season. No reason really to doubt their bullpen here in this game. And their offense has been problematic lately, guys. They've scored 1, 2, 5, and 3 runs respectively over their last few games. Ozuna trying to carry the load, but yeah, this team's now getting banged up. We see guys, it's getting pretty dim for this offense. It's down to 20th in the majors in runs scored. They're still 10th in the majors in slugging percentage, but they're only batting .242 as a team. This is just not a great looking offense right now. So definitely some big question marks about that. And looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we see the Reds at plus 200. We see the Braves at minus 235. We've got an over-under of 7.5 or 8. We can find both numbers out there still. Cincinnati is 23-25 on the road. Atlanta is 30-20 at home. We see both teams showing significant trends towards the under. Cincinnati is 24-23-1 to the under on the road. Atlanta, though, they're the ones that really carried the way here, guys. Atlanta is 32-17-1 to the under at home. Guys, in general in this game, I do think you might want to look at taking a flyer on the Reds plus 200 once we get a confirmed starter. But right now, I think the value in this game is actually that under 8. I don't think we're going to see a ton of offense in this game. Neither team swinging the bats very well right now. The Reds bullpen is very, very good, so I think they're going to be able to hold down the Braves. And I do think this is a good no-run first inning spot, but I also think it's a very good spot to look at that under 8 number. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Philadelphia Phillies going on the road to take on the Minnesota Twins. The Phillies come into this game fresh off of a 7-2 loss at Minnesota there in Game 1 of this series. Did not look great. We saw Harper hit a 2-run home run in there, but yeah, things did not work out for the Phillies in the end. Phillies are handing the ball in this one to Zach Wheeler, who's 10-4 this season with a 2.70 ERA. He's coming off of a very good start against the Dodgers. That was all the way back on the 9th, so he's had plenty of time to rest and get ready for this one. Honestly, over his last 4 starts, the dude has looked fantastic. So yeah, very few notes from me on him. He's just been throwing the ball very, very well this season. He hasn't gone up against the Twins yet this year, so nothing to be gleaned there. But overall, guys, the question mark for me for the Phillies right now is where is that bullpen going, guys? A 3.86 bullpen ERA. Definitely a number that is not getting better right now. It's getting worse. Big question marks for me what we're going to see from this Phillies bullpen as they, head into the, later parts of the season. It's a big concern. The offense is going to have to carry the way, and Bryce Harper is doing everything he can for this team, but man, they scored 2, 6, 1, and 7 runs respectively over their last few games. They're tied for 4th in the majors in runs scored, and they're batting .259 as a team, which is 3rd overall. They're getting on base at a .330 clip. Like, this is an absolutely elite offensive team. Maybe not swinging the hottest bats right now, but they are always poised to come alive and put up some big numbers, and they're going up against the Twins, who come into this game fresh off of that win. It was much needed, guys. They're at 55-44 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Simeon Woods-Richardson, who's 3-1 this season with a 3.51 ERA. He's been making predominantly short starts this season. I mean, his last start was only 4 1/3 innings. He gave up 7 hits and 2 earned runs at the Giants. That was back on July 13th, so he's had quite a bit of time off here. We'll see how he looks rested and relaxed and ready to take on the Phillies in this game, which is going to be a pretty tough opponent for him considering the fact he hasn't faced a lot of really tough opponents this season. So yeah, we'll see what we get out of Woods Richardson in this game. I'm not as super high on him. I am a little bit high though on that Minnesota Twins bullpen, guys. They're easily top 10 in the majors with a 3.64 bullpen ERA. So definitely take that. That's looking pretty good, no doubt about it. The offense, obviously coming off a game where they've scored 7 runs. They've scored 7, 7, 4, and 2 runs respectively over their last few games. They're 7th in the majors in runs scored and 3rd in the majors in slugging percentage. But right now, guys, a little bit banged up. Not going to be a full strength offense with Carlos Correa not out there. And yeah, I mean, once they get him back, obviously that will be a big boost, but we don't really know when that's going to be. The guy is still reportedly wearing a walking boot. So yeah, not looking like his return is imminent. So looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we see the Phillies at minus 155, the Twins at plus 140. We've got an over-under of 8 in this game. The Phillies are 25 and 21 on the road, so not a terrible road team, but the Twins are 28 and 20 at home, so that's looking pretty nice. Not a lot of big trends for the over-under in this game. Minnesota is a slight over team at home, and the Phillies are a good offense, so I guess if you want to take over 8, I could get maybe interested in that. But in general in this game, guys, I think the Phillies have a good starter out there on the mound in Zach Wheeler. I'm expecting very good things from him in this game against what's going to be a slightly limited Twins offense, and we've got Simeon Woods Richardson out there on the other side. He's a good pitcher, but man, do we really trust him to go very deep into the game? No. Do we trust the Twins bullpen? I would say we trust them a good amount. So yeah, in general, this seems like a very close spot to me. I'm going to lean slightly towards the Twins plus 140 at home. I'm just not in love with how the Phillies are playing right now, but overall, guys, this is basically a stay away spot for me. No idea where this one is going to go. Moving right along here, guys, we got the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the Texas Rangers. The White Sox coming to this game losers of their last 8 in a row. They just lost game 1 of this series 4-3, so not exactly a great look there. The White Sox are 27 and 75 on the season, handing the ball in this game to Garrett Crochet, who is 6-6 on the year with a 3.02 ERA. He looked lights out there in the All-Star game, guys. I mean, he did give up 1 hit, but he also had a strikeout in that one, and yeah, just in general looked very, very good. He didn't necessarily go into the All-Star break killing it, but I mean, he has been so good this season, absolutely no doubt about it. And by I say not killing it, that's just by his standards. The guy has been nearly unhittable this season at 25 years old. Got to be considered one of the best pitching prospects in the majors right now. So expecting very good things from him in this game. Not expecting miracles though from that White Sox bullpen that's been terrible all year long, and expecting nearly nothing from their offense is pretty much the way to go, guys. And you will not be disappointed because they are last in the majors in runs scored, last in the majors in on-base percentage, and last in the majors in slugging percentage. They're only batting .219 as a team. They've scored 3, 1, 1, and 1 run respectively over their last 4 games. This is just an absolutely terrible offense, guys. And they're going up against the Texas Rangers, not exactly an offense that's killing it themselves. They're 48 and 52 on the season. They have won 4 out of their last 6 games, so that's something, but they're handing the ball to John Gray in this one. He's 4-4 with a 3.96 ERA. He's coming off of a 1 inning relief appearance, against the Baltimore Orioles, where he gave up 1 hit and no runs. His last start was at the Angels back on the 8th of July. He went 5 innings, gave up 5 hits and 3 earned runs. The dude has had his problems this season. He's also had some positive outings, so give him a little bit of credit, but maybe not a starter that I'm in love with. But the guy has to be very excited to be taking on a team like the White Sox that are just not very good. So in general, how do we feel about this Texas Rangers bullpen? Well, guys, they're actually maybe a hair better than you would think they were. I mean, a 4.39 bullpen ERA is not great by any stretch of the imagination. Don't get me wrong, but any bullpen can feel pretty good about going up against the Chicago White Sox. So give them a little bit of credit there, and they've been pitching slightly better recently. I mean, they didn't have a great series against Baltimore, but that last game against Baltimore was good. So, a little bit of credit here for this bullpen. And the offense, guys, not a lot of credit to dish out there. They've scored 4, 3, 4, 1, and 4 runs respectively over their last few games. They are 23rd in the majors in slugging percentage, 17th in the majors in runs scored. They're only batting .238 as a squad. This is just not a very good offensive team. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the White Sox at plus 110. We see the Rangers at minus 120. We got an over-under of 7.5 in this game. The White Sox are an MLB worst 10 and 41 on the road. So yeah, not a lot of positives there. The Rangers are 26 and 23 at home. So, at least they're above 500, but not exactly a great road team. We do see, interestingly though, that the Rangers are 32, 15, and 2 to the under at home. That is an MLB best under number on the season for the Rangers. So definitely have to take into context, that this could be an under spot. Once again, it is 7.5, so it's a little bit smaller of a number than we like to take, but really, guys, we've got 2 starters that are throwing the ball relatively well, and in the case of Crochet, we have one of the best starters in the MLB, and we have 2 terrible offenses, guys. I think this is a good under spot. Under 7.5 looking very, very live to me in this one. I think there's a great chance that it ends up in the pinned comment. Next up, guys, we look at the Milwaukee Brewers going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Brewers couldn't come with any offense in game 1 of this series and eventually lost 3-1. They're 57-43 on the year with a 5-game cushion there over the St. Louis Cardinals in the NL Central. They're handing the ball to Colin Ray in this one. He is 9-3 this season with a 3.77 ERA. He went into the All-Star break fresh off of a pretty solid start against the Nationals. 5 2/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in a game we eventually saw the Brewers win 9-3. So pretty good stuff there. The Brewers are 3-2 over his last 5 starts, with the 2 that they lost being pretty much his fault. So, we can't exactly mark the guy down as killing it right now, but in general this season he's been good, and he does have a good recent start against the Cubs. I mean, he went 5 1/3 innings, he had 3 hits and 2 earned runs back on June 28th. So, that's not too long ago, and he looked very, very good in that one. And he's had one other good start, a very good start back in May against the Cubs as well. So looking like good stuff here from Colin Ray, and also good stuff from this Milwaukee bullpen, guys. 3rd in the majors with a 3.35 bullpen ERA. That is fantastic. They have won 3 out of their last 4 games, so that's something positive to look at as well. And offensively, this team has been great over the course of the season. 6th in the majors in runs scored. They're batting .255 as a team. That is 4th in the majors. They are the 2nd best on-base percentage team in the MLB, guys. I mean, yeah, this is a great offense. Weird they could only score 1 run in game 1 of the series, but I think they're going to be looking to turn that around here in game 2. They're going up against the Cubs, who have now won 2 in a row, but at 49-53 on the year, not having a great time. They're hitting the ball in this one to Jameson Taillon, who is 7-4 this season with a 3.10 ERA. He comes into this game fresh off of a very good start at the St. Louis Cardinals, guys. That was back on the 14th. 5 2/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 hits. Not exactly an elite performance, but I mean, it was a game we saw the Cubs win 8-3, so we'll give him some credit there. Unfortunately, the last time he pitched against the Brewers, it was at Milwaukee. This one's going to be at Wrigley Field. He went 6 innings, gave up 4 hits and 4 runs. 3 of them were earned. He gave up a home run in that outing, so yeah, maybe not ideal there. And he also had a start against the Brewers back in May that the Cubs lost as well. He went 6 innings, gave up 6 hits, 3 earned runs in that one as well. So we'll see what he can do out there in this one. We'll also see what the Cubs bullpen can do. They're down there in the middle of the majors, guys, with a 3.88 bullpen ERA. So not an elite bullpen. Definitely some question marks there. Also, guys, for me, big question marks about their offense. They scored 3, 2, 0, and 2 runs respectively over their last 4 games. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored, a number that's actually headed down right now. They're 25th in the majors, batting .233 as a team. Their slugging percentage is also very, very low. This is just not a good offense. So looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Brewers at plus 102, the Cubs at minus 112. We got an over-under of 8.5 in this one. Milwaukee is 28-26 on the road. The Cubs are 27-23 at home, so a decent home team, don't get me wrong. Obviously, mixed trends here towards the over-under. I'm not interested in the over-under, but I do think, guys, we're probably going to be running it back here on the Milwaukee Brewers. Taillon does not have good history this season against the Milwaukee Brewers, and we've seen pretty decent stuff from Colin Ray going up against the Cubs, and Milwaukee is due for a bust-out offensive performance, so go ahead and give me the Brewers plus 102 in this game. Very likely to end up in the pinned comment. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we've got the Arizona Diamondbacks going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Diamondbacks come into this game fresh off of a 10-4 loss at Kansas City there in game 1 of this series. They're 51-50 on the year, so still plenty of work to be done for them. They're handing the ball to Jordan Montgomery, who's 6-5 this season with a 6.44 ERA. He, he's going to be joining the rotation back after, he had a rehab start there. His last real major league start was back on the 27th of June, so he didn't miss a ton of time with that knee issue. It's not an arm issue, so I think we can expect him to be relatively normal out there, assuming that everything is right with that knee. And yeah, not necessarily a starter that I'm super high on this season. I mean, he hasn't faced the Royals yet this year, so we'll see what we get from Montgomery. Not somebody that's had a ton of smooth sailing this season. Also, guys, if he can't make a deep outing in this game, the Diamondbacks bullpen, a 4.24 bullpen ERA is not great. They have been a little bit better coming out of the pen over the last, we'll say 15 or 20 so games, but yeah, not a bullpen that I'm super high on right now. And the offense is going to have to carry the load, but guys, they've scored 4, 1, 3, and 5 runs respectively over their last few games. Not exactly killing it out there. I mean, this has been a top 5, top 10 offense over the course of the season. Don't get me wrong, but just right now, are they swinging the hottest bats? I've got to go with no, and they're going to have to score some runs going up against the Royals, who've now won 4 in a row, and they've won 7 of their last 9 games to get to 56-45 on the season, only 4 games back there of the Cleveland Guardians in the AL Central. They're handing the ball in this game to Alec Marsh, who's 7-6 this year with a 4.52 ERA. His last time out was only a 1-inning relief appearance against the Chicago White Sox on the 19th, so it's reported that we're going to see him start in this game. It's not, a ton of rest after that, but they're hoping that bullpen appearance could get him back on track. I mean, his last start was at the Cardinals. He went 6 innings, gave up 3 hits and 3 earned runs. He gave up 2 home runs in the outing, which is really the problem. If he wouldn't have had those couple of mistakes in there, it would have been a very solid outing. So yeah, we'll see what we get from him. He hasn't faced the Arizona Diamondbacks this season, so we'll see how he looks. We'll also see how that Royals bullpen looks. They're trending a little bit better recently, but a 4.22 bullpen ERA is way below where this team expected to be in terms of bullpen numbers. Their offense is chugging right along, guys. 10, 4, 6, and 7 runs respectively over their last few games. Bobby Witt Jr. is putting himself in the discussion to be a MVP candidate. I mean, the dude's hitting .341 this season. Pretty crazy stuff. This team's up to 11th in the majors in runs scored, 11th in the majors in batting average. This is an offense that's humming along behind Bobby Witt Jr. And looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Diamondbacks at -120, the Royals at +102. We've got over-under showing out there of 9.5 or 10. Arizona is 25 and 26 on the road, but the Royals are 35 and 18 at home. That's pretty impressive home numbers, guys. We see slight trends towards the under for both of these teams. So honestly, guys, if you wanted to take under 10, there are 10s out there. If you wanted to take under 10, that would make sense to me. I also like the Royals +102 at home a little bit, but I don't really trust Alec Marsh. I don't really know what we're going to see from Jordan Montgomery, and I don't know if I can trust this Royals offense to keep on slugging, but I mean, they are going up against the Diamondbacks, not a very good pitching team. So yeah, in general, guys, my leans in this one are going to be the under 10, but definitely think the Royals +102 is worth a very, very serious look. Rounding into the home stretch here, guys, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Colorado Rockies. Boston comes into this game, man, that was a tough one. That was a tough one to experience there. Losing game 1 of this series 9-8 at Colorado. They're handing the ball in this game to Cooper Criswell, who's 3-4 this season with a 4.50 ERA. He's coming off of getting shelled back before the All-Star break by the Kansas City Royals, so not a great way to head into the All-Star break there, but he had 3 solid starts in a row before that, so I guess we'll take that in consideration, but this is not a starter we're necessarily super high on. The Red Sox bullpen comes into this game not looking like their dominant selves from earlier in the season. They're down towards the middle of the pack with a 3.79 bullpen ERA, so that's also not great. The offense came up pretty big, scoring 8 runs there in game 1 of this series, but not big enough given that, the situation is not great. I mean, we see Jansen out for the Rockies with health issues, so yeah, some concerns there. The bullpen not at full strength, and this team really not at full strength in general, but the offense should pretty much be. I mean, they're 11th in the majors in runs scored and top 6 in all the other major offensive categories, so we'd expect them to put up some runs here, but will it be enough? Going up against the Rockies, who have now won 4 out of their last 5. They're 37 and 64 on the year, so obviously headed nowhere fast, but they're handing the ball to Ty Blatch in this game. He's 3-5 this season with a 5.46 ERA. His last 4 appearances have all been bullpen appearances with some very, very mixed results. So I've got big question marks about what we're going to see from Ty Blatch in this game. Not somebody that I'm super duper high on, and yeah, not high on this Colorado Rockies bullpen either, guys. They are the worst in the majors with a bullpen ERA that's getting up there close to the number 6. So yeah, that's not where you want your bullpen to be. The offense, obviously, not really, not one of the craziest ones over the course of the season. They're swinging some relatively hot bats coming off a game where they scored 9 runs, but they're 21st in the majors in runs scored and 21st in the majors in on-base percentage for a reason. So yeah, not an offense that I am terrified of, but looking at the numbers for this game, guys, we've got the Red Sox at -162. We've got the Rockies at +136. We've got an over-under of 10.5 in this game. Boston is 29 and 20 on the road, a very good road team. Colorado is 23 and 26 at home, so not the best home team. We see some mixed trends towards the over-under. The Rockies, I mean, they're kind of an under team at home, which is shocking. Boston is an over team on the road, so if you want to take a look at over 10.5, I guess you could. I'm not super high on Cooper Criswell in this game, guys. Don't get me wrong. I don't think he's necessarily an elite starter, but I don't think it's going to matter in this one. I think we're going to see a ton of offense here from Boston, and really, guys, I'm not too interested in taking them at -162. I think we're going to be coming for pretty much all of our money back after that debacle yesterday. If you take Boston at -1.5, you can get them at -102. I think that's the play. I think we're going to see Boston just get a ton of runs in this game. Is this going to go in the pinned comment? I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's got a chance. I'm really, really low on Ty Blatch. I think he's a pretty terrible pitcher, and I think we'll see Boston take advantage of that for the tune of plenty of runs, and they should be able to score runs against the Rockies bullpen, and surely we're going to see a bounce back here from the Boston Red Sox bullpen. Next up, guys, we got the Los Angeles Angels going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. The Angels come into this game fresh off of a crazy 3-1 win there against Seattle in game 1 of this series. Annoying stuff for us. The Angels are 43 and 57 on the year, handing the ball to Jose Soriano, who's 5 and 7 this season with a 3.71 ERA. His last time out was against the Seattle Mariners, guys. He went 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, and only a single earned run in a game we eventually saw the Angels win 2-1. So very solid stuff from Soriano there. Obviously, over the course of the season, the Angels bullpen has not been great. It's been one of the worst 4 or 5 bullpens in the majors right now, sitting with a 4.61 bullpen ERA. And the offense hasn't been great either, but they've been hitting the ball a bit better lately, scoring 3, 8, and 2 runs respectively over their last few games. They're 26th in the majors in runs scored, 23rd in the majors in on-base percentage. We do see Mike Trout nearing a return. He's going to begin a rehab assignment soon, so that'll be exciting, but not really meaningful for a team that's headed nowhere fast this season. They're taking on the Mariners in this game, who are in desperate need of wins, tied with Houston there atop the AL West. They're coming off that tough 3-1 loss there with the bullpen and, just other things, kind of just everything crumbled there in the last couple of innings. They're handing the ball to Logan Gilbert in this game. He's 6 and 5 this season with a 2.79 ERA. He's coming off of a dominant start against the Angels where he went 7 innings, gave up 2 hits and no runs while striking out 9 in a game Seattle eventually lost 3-2. So yeah, not exactly a great look there for the Mariners. I mean, they're wasting some very good stuff from this young pitching staff, but in general, guys, feeling great about Logan Gilbert, especially against this opponent. Also feeling good about the Seattle bullpen despite what happened yesterday. I still think this is a very solid bullpen and a very, very, very bad offense, guys. Honestly, really, when I think the Mariners are going to win a game, I think instead of taking them to win the game, I'm just going to go ahead and take the under because we are going to see a very low-scoring competition. And with the Mariners being one of the worst offenses in the majors right now, I'm looking at that under number once again. We've got the Angels at plus 158, the Mariners at minus 180. That seems like a crazy price to me. The Angels are 20 and 28 on the road. Seattle is 31 and 20 at home. But what we really want to look at are these under trends, guys. Seattle is 32, 17, and 2 to the under at home. We have an over-under of 7 in this game. Am I going to put an under 7 in the pinned comment? Seems like a bit of a stretch, but I do really think that's where the value is in this game. I think we're going to see almost no offense. Both of these starters are excellent in this spot against this opponent. So yeah, go ahead and give me under 7 in this game. It's also a great no-run first inning spot, although I would assume the price on that would be pretty abysmal. Next on the docket, guys, we got the Houston Astros going on the road to take on the Oakland A's. The Astros come in this game fresh off of a 4-0 loss there in Game 1 of this series. They are 52 and 48 on the season. Handing the ball in this game to Jake Bloss, who has yet to register a result, is sporting a 4.70 ERA. He's going to be making his 3rd start of the year. They've both been pretty similar, guys. Giving up a lot of hits, but only 2 earned runs in starts against Baltimore and against Miami. It didn't go too deep into the games. It looks like this is going to be a game where we're going to see a healthy dose of that Houston Astros bullpen, which has been much better here later in the season, guys. Somewhere around top 10 in the majors with a 3.68 bullpen ERA. So very little for me to complain about there in terms of the Houston pitching staff. The offense has been not great lately. They've scored 0, 4, 3, and 2 runs respectively over their last few games. Obviously, they still keep putting up some pretty good stats, but man, those run scored numbers just don't seem to come along. They're 9th in the majors in runs scored, but 1st in team batting average. They're taking on the Oakland A's in this game, who got the 4-0 win there after a very, very good start from Hogan Harris. So yeah, they'll definitely take that, but at 40 and 62 on the year, not a lot of positives. They're going to be doing effectively a bullpen start in this game, handing the ball to Beto to start this one off. I mean, he's not somebody you can look to go super deep into games, although he does have, some long relief appearances. So we'll give him some credit here. We'll see what this young guy can do. I mean, he's relatively young, 28 years old, so, not too young. Well, he's getting a very big chance here, so we'll see what he can do with it. We'll see what this A's bullpen can do with this as well. I mean, they've been a slightly better bullpen than you would really expect them to be. Around top 10 in the majors also with a 3.70 bullpen ERA. And yeah, the offense, guys, maybe not a great one, but they managed to score 4 runs in Game 1 of this series. They've scored 4, 5, 8, 13, and 18 runs over the last few games. Obviously, they've been putting up some cartoon numbers in these big blowout wins, but over the course of the season, there's still a lot to be desired for this offense. So we'll see what we actually get from them in this game going up against the Astros and effectively the Astros bullpen. Looking at the numbers for this one, Houston's at minus 125. The A's are at plus 116. We've got an over-under of 8.5 in this game. Houston is 22 and 27 on the road. Oakland is 25 and 26 at home. Not a lot of big over-under trends. I mean, Houston is 29, 19, and 1 to the under on the road. So if you want to take a look at under 8.5 in this spot, I guess you could if you expect both these bullpens to have good outings. But in general in this game, guys, this is going to be a stay away spot for me. I'm not expecting miracles from either one of these teams right now. So I guess I'm kind of leaning towards that under 8.5, but overall with 2 bullpen starts in this situation, I want to stay away. Last but not least, guys, we got another rivalry game. We've got the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the LA Dodgers. We saw the Giants take the 3-2 loss in game 1 of this series. They're 48-53 on the year, handing the ball in this game to Jordan Hicks, who's 4-6 this season with a 3.79 ERA. He's coming off of, I would say, 4 straight pretty weak appearances, guys, and they were all 4 losses for the Giants. He just didn't look good against the Blue Jays his last time out, and in general has not been a pitcher that I've been very high on this season, even when he was putting up some relatively decent numbers. So concerns there for their starting pitcher and big concerns for their bullpen, guys. A 4.39 bullpen ERA has them bottom 5 or bottom 6 in the majors, so major concerns for me about this pitching staff in this game. And the offense hasn't necessarily been killing it either, guys. They've scored 2, 3, 3, 3, and 3 runs respectively over their last several games. 15th in the majors in runs scored, 18th in the majors in slugging percentage. This is just not an offense that I'm in love with right now, and they're going to have to score some runs going up against the Dodgers team that's won their last 4 in a row. They're up to 60-41 on the season. They're handing the ball in this game to Landon Knack, who's 1-2 this year with a 3.23 ERA. He's not coming off a very good outing either, guys. I mean, back on the 11th against the Phillies, 4 1/3 innings, 6 hits, 3 earned runs, including a home run. His start before that, he got absolutely shelled by the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he has some history against the Giants back on the 28th of June. 4 2/3 innings, 5 hits. He was very lucky to escape giving up only 1 earned run on a home run, thanks to having 7 strikeouts, a number he hasn't touched again since that appearance. So definitely some concerns there. Looking at the Dodgers bullpen, obviously it's been very good. 5th in the majors with a 3.47 bullpen ERA. No major problems there at all, obviously, but yeah, is this a spot that we really trust the Dodgers? I mean, their offense has been looking good. 3, 9, 7, and 4 runs respectively over their last few games. Ohtani doing well. Hernandez back and looking great. So yeah, I mean, this team putting up some offensive numbers. They're tied for first in the majors in runs scored, so they'll definitely take that. Tied for first in, just a very good offense. And looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Giants at +120, the Dodgers at -138. We've got an over/under of 8.5 in this game. The Giants, not a very good road team. The Dodgers, a very good home team. So I could definitely wrap my head around taking the Dodgers -138, but there's a bet that I like much more in this one, and that is over 8.5. The Giants are 28-19-2 to the over on the road, and the Dodgers are 28-20-1 to the over at home. Neither one of these pitchers have good history against the opposing team. So yeah, go ahead and give me the over in this game. I think we're going to see plenty of offense in this one, and yeah, this is a great over spot in my opinion. That's all the games we have for today, guys. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. Thanks for watching. You can click the link in the description to check out stumpthespread.com, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for more sports betting action.